Hey everyone, welcome back to Python Code Nemesis. In today's video, we will be looking at the part 2 of SQLAlchemy Python functions, that is writing complex database queries without raw SQL code using SQLAlchemy in Python. So let's get started. In this article, we will go through some commonly used functions in SQLAlchemy to perform table joins and more. Case. In SQLAlchemy, the case construct is used to perform conditional expressions and create conditional statements within SQL queries. It allows you to define conditional logic and return different values based on the specific conditions. The case construct in SQLAlchemy provides a way to build SQL expressions that resemble the SQL case statement. It has the following syntax. From SQLAlchemy, import case and case open first brackets, square bracket open, then inside each of this, inside the square bracket, there's the condition and the value. So a tuple of the condition and the value. And finally, there'll be an else, which is a default value. Let's break down the components of the case construct. Condition 1 and condition 2, etc. are conditions that you want to evaluate. Each condition can be a SQLAlchemy expression or a Boolean expression. Value 1 and value 2, etc. These are the corresponding values to be returned if the respective condition is true. Else is an optional argument that specifies the default value to be returned if none of these conditions are true. It is equivalent to the else clause in the SQL case statement. Here's an example that demonstrates the use of case in SQLAlchemy. From SQLAlchemy, import create engine, metadata, table, column, integer, select, case. Create the engine and the connection. Create engine, and then you can just put in your previously used SQLite database string and create the connection with engine.connect. So you can look at the previous code to add in that same database connection string so that you can use the same database. Once you are connected, define the table. So metadata, create a new metadata object, create a new table where you create that table with the table name, the metadata object, the columns, which is column ID, which is an integer, primary key, columns, there's another column score, which is an integer, and grade, which is a string. Next, create a select statement using case. So query equal to select, then brackets open, then square brackets, my table, right, so if we look at the syntax here, what were we doing? There should be a case in there. Something is wrong here, so we need to correct that. Right. So my table.c.id. Okay, yeah. So inside the select, there's these columns, ID and score, and then there's the case where my table.c.score greater than 90, A, B, and C. So based on these conditions, we will assign the values. So yeah, so if the score of that column is greater than 90, then assign the value A to the grade, else add B or else add C, and if there's none of these conditions are true, then that's a D dot label grade. Right. So what this does it selects the ID and score from the table. Then based on the scores, creates a new column called grade, where based on the scores, it assigns a string to the grade column. So once you execute the query, you will be able to see all the scores and the corresponding grades, right? So in the above example, a case construct is used within a select statement. It evaluates the score column of the table and assigns a grade based on the score. If the score is greater than or equal to 90, it returns A. If it's between 80 and 89, it returns B. And if it's between 70 and 79, it returns C. For any other score, it returns a D, and the result is then retrieved and printed. The case construct in SQLAlchemy provides a flexible way to handle conditional expressions and perform custom transformations within your SQL queries. That was a great statement to learn. Next, we have func.sum. In SQLAlchemy, func.sum is a function that represents the SQL sum aggregate function. It is used to calculate the sum of a set of values within a SQL query. The func.sum function can be applied to a column or an expression to compute the sum of its values. It is typically used in conjunction with the select statement to perform aggregations on a table or subset of data. Here's an example that demonstrates the use of the func.sum in SQLAlchemy. From SQLAlchemy, import engine, metadata, table, column, integer, select, and func. Create the engine and the connection, pass in the previous example's database string, connect to the engine. Create a metadata object, create a new table, add the name of the table, the metadata object, and what are the columns that you want, which is ID here, which is the primary key, and the value. Create a select statement using the func.sum. So query equal to select, brackets open, square brackets, func.sum, mytable.c.value, and label total sum. Execute the query and get the total sum. In the above example, the func.sum, mytable.c.value, is used within the select statement to calculate the sum of the value column in the myTable table. The result is labeled as total sum using the label method, which is also very important. The result or scalar method is then used to retrieve the total sum value. So this is just giving us the scalar value. The func.sum function can be used with other clauses and functions in SQLAlchemy to perform more complex calculations and aggregations. It provides a way to obtain the sum of values in a SQL query, allowing you to perform calculations on numeric columns and expressions. In conclusion, this article explored two important functions in SQLAlchemy, the case construct and the func.sum function. The case construct enables conditional expressions and statements in SQL queries, facilitating dynamic value assignment based on conditions. The func.sum function computes the sum of values in a column or expression, allowing for aggregations and total sum calculations. These functions enhance SQLAlchemy's capabilities, enabling developers to write versatile and expressive SQL queries in Python applications. So that's it for this video. Feel free to leave feedback in the comments. If you found this an exciting read, please like and subscribe and keep coding in Python. Have a great day. Hey everyone, welcome back to Python Code Nemesis. In today's video, we will be looking at the part 2 of SQLAlchemy